We're here with Darlene Nixon, who is the cousin of Amy Elizabeth Davis, who was missing in Oklahoma and went unidentified for 16 years. As she went unidentified, and so Darlene, what type of person was Amy to you?
Amy was a very quiet person. She was a gentle soul, from what I've been told from people. I'll be honest with you. In Amy's adult life, we didn't know each other because she was adopted by a family and had moved to Oklahoma, and we weren't aware of a lot of things about her missing until later on. But in my searching and everything, I found she primarily kept to herself, and she was shy and reclusive.
Yeah, and another element to this is that she was Native American, and y'all are biological relatives and everything. So
Correct.
the Native American part is very, like, people need to be more aware of Native Americans being killed and missing and all that kind of stuff. And it's just it's sad. But the other thing is the foster, or not the foster parents, but the adoptive parents didn't file a missing persons report. What can you say about that?
Correct. So they never legally filed a missing persons report on her. She ran away from home at age 18. And from what I'm told, it was kind of a back and forth for a little bit. And then that last time, they hadn't heard from her. Now, Amy did have a prostitution charge, and she was arrested. The adoptive family did go down to the police department to file a missing persons report, and the Oklahoma City Police Department kind of, I don't want to say talked them out of it, but they brushed it to the side that, she was a known sex worker and that she was out in the street. She was 20 years old at that time. So one was never fully filed on her until it was filed by me, I want to say back in January, when all of this kind of came about.
And yeah, they just identified her like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yes, just last week. She was just officially identified. We had to go through a process, and her brother provided DNA, so we had to wait, which took about the 3 months in total for that to be done.
So do you think the family that adopted her have any involvement?
I do not. Jane, the adopted mom, she has since passed away. And I do know before her death she was looking for Amy. I'm in communication with the adopted dad, and I don't think that they had anything to do with it. I think that, unfortunately, Amy fell into a bad crowd and was out on the streets, and I think something happened to her in that sense. I think it's sad that nobody was looking for her, that in that area, if a woman is presumed to be a sex worker, they kind of leave it as that, but that doesn't mean that they don't have families, they don't have people that care about them, and I feel like nobody just, felt it was necessary to look for her, and that's not right.
Yeah, and I just want to commend you because you're the only one that has looked for all these years. And I just want to commend you on how courageous you've been through all this.
Well, thank you for that. We were told different things that I won't exactly get into in terms of biological family, but we were all led to believe it was a closed adoption at first, and we found out on our end that it was not. So we weren't aware that Amy was really even missing until around 2018 when her brother did come here from Oklahoma. And then we found out about that. And back then, I feel like Facebook was kind of just starting to become popular. And, like now I've been able to post and search for her and find out information. Granted, I haven't found out much, but back then we weren't able to find out much. and then being told, that she was in the street, that she was a prostitute, that she was on drugs. We kind of assumed, that same thing. We never thought that she was dead.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. Now, I got a couple more questions because, with the prostitution and everything, was she found near a truck stop or by I-40 at all?
So the area that she was found in now, and I am not that familiar with it, forgive me, because I live in Virginia and I've never been
Yeah.
to Oklahoma. I don't think it's close to I-40, but from my understanding, it's not entirely too far. I did have a friend go to that area and video it and send it to me. And from my knowledge, it is in a very bad area of town that is known to have prostitution and a drug area.
Okay, yeah, because one of the things I was concerned about is because I-40, I lived in Oklahoma, and I-40 is just a bad place for people there, and
Right.
truck stops as well. So, but is there anything else that you feel like should be said?
Um, I think it's just we're trying to find out what happened to her, and we're all really hoping, the adopted dad, the biological family that she has that does care, people that are so invested in Amy's case. We just want to find out what happened to her. We want answers. I found in 2011 when that bust was made that it was being investigated by a homicide team. We don't know cause of death at this time. I mean, she could have even passed from a drug overdose. We don't know that, but the fact that to me, it seems like she was dumped. Her remains were just there. If a body would have been laying there for that amount of time, somebody would have found her, and somebody would have said something. So that to me is suspicious. So we just want answers. And I understand, and I've come to terms with, we might not ever get that fully, in terms of a conviction or anything like that, but somebody has to know her from somewhere. I have yet to find one person, a teacher, a friend, that knew her personally, that knew who she was hanging around, that could give me a trail of what happened to her when she was on the streets. And that's my biggest thing, is finding somebody and then finding out what happened to her.
Exactly.
Because it's suspicious.
Yeah, it's incredibly suspicious that you can't find anybody who knew her.
Yeah.
That's
And I don't know
suspicious.
if it's that time in that area. I'm told she was hanging around Will Rogers Courts, Robinson area Avenue, which was big in the Brian Bates days, prostitution, the video vigilante, and all of that. So I don't know if people just don't want to talk, but somebody knows her. Somebody knows what happened to her.
Yeah. And I'll just say this before we go. The investigating agency is the Oklahoma Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. So you can call them at 405-239-7141. So.
Yeah, and we've been in communication with them. We're in a limbo period right now, kind of waiting on things.
Yeah. And, hopefully this case, it reaches somebody that knows something, because like you said, somebody has to know something. She didn't just, it's not like she didn't have friends or somebody didn't know her, somebody knew her,
Right.
like you said.
Right. Absolutely. Somebody had to us.
Yeah. But I'm going to put this article out there and also give the phone number on the article to the investigating agency and try to promote this article as well. And I guess I'll call you back right after we finish this.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.